Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. This is like my third or fourth tutorial on the Rubik's Cube, and the reason is because every time I make one, it gets clearer and clearer and more understandable. So yeah, hopefully this tutorial will be no exception. But yeah, before we get into the video, I just want to say that this is basically as basic you can get for a tutorial for the Rubik's Cube. And yeah, so once you've learned how to solve it, you can go off to other tutorials where they teach you actually how to get faster, but this is just like a main starting point. Also, make sure when you're following along in this video, make sure that you actually learn each step like really well before you move on to the next step, because if you don't know it, then you're just going to forget it later on. Okay, with that, let's just go on and scramble up the cube. Okay, so what you're first going to want to do is put the yellow center on top. So these are all the centers, the ones in the middle of the cube. Just put the yellow one on top. Now you can do this with other colors, but for teaching purposes, I'm going to be doing yellow and white for the edges. So basically what you're going to want to do is find any white edge. So it's the ones in between the two corners. So here's an edge, here's an edge, here's an edge, here's an edge. Those are all the white edges. So basically, your goal for this step is to get all the white edges here, 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 and here. So if you just see one here on the side and it just goes up just like that, then you can just put that in. I see another one here. You can put that one just like that. And you're basically just figuring out how, in any way, to get these four over here. So now here, I can't really do one directly, but what I can do is kind of move this one over, and then I can move this one up. And then for this last one, I can kind of move the top over and this one up. And there we go. There we have our first step done. Sometimes you're going to have edges that are just on the bottom like this. And so you can't just move them up with one. So you just have to kind of fully move it up. And sometimes there's already going to be an edge in the place. So if you do this, then the other edge is going to get out. So what you have to do is move the top over and bring it up, and then you'll have all of them in that you've done so far. Another case is this one where it's on the bottom, but the white is kind of facing front. And in this case, you basically just want to make sure that nothing is kind of like affecting the front layer. So if it's like this, just make sure you just turn it just like this. So it's the three or however many you've done are just in the back here, and move the front and then move the top and then just move it right in. So yeah, there are other combinations, but these are just the main ones, and you can hopefully figure out the other ones by just trial and error, and just, it's pretty intuitive. So yeah, just have a go at that. And yeah, once you're done with that, we'll move on to the next step. So basically, the next step is basically just getting all these edges you've had up here to the bottom, and this is called the cross. So what you're gonna do is you kind of face it like this, and you see each edge. So there's white, of course, on the top, but then it has another color. So this one has white and blue. So you're basically just going to turn the bottom two layers until the blue matches up just like this, and then turn the front, 1, 2, and then move on to the next one. So just kind of rotate it to whichever side you want. You do the same thing. So the other color other than white on this edge is green. So we're going to just line it up until it matches up, and then go 1, 2. Just do this. Oh, this one's already matched up. 1, 2, and then last one, 1, 2. Just make sure that each cross edge is actually sufficiently matched up. So as you can see, the white matches up and the red, green and the white, and all the other ones. And we are done with cross. The next step is the corners. So the white corner. So basically you want a full layer after this. So hopefully you can find one on the bottom. So in this case, it has white, orange, and green. So yeah, just make sure white's on it, and two other colors obviously will be on it. So white, orange, and green. And you'll see that there's 4 slots up here where it could go. So this one looks like the colors converging on it are green and red. This one looks like green and orange, which is the one we want, because this is green and orange and this is green and orange. Obviously talking about the colors that aren't white. So we're just going to move this corner right under the slot with the green and orange. Now, if the piece had been like this, kind of rotated this way, you just want to move it so that it's on the right and it's on the front. So this is on the right and on the front. So again, this is the left, and we just have to move it onto the right and to the front. Then we're just going to do this sequence of moves. Down, this way, up, this way. Now, it's usually not going to solve the edge with it, so it's okay if it just solves the corner. But if that didn't solve it, then just keep doing it. Keep doing those 4 moves. In my case, I kind of got lucky. So moving on to the next one. So red and green here. So this one's red, blue. This one's orange, blue. But this one's red, green. So we're just going to move it over here. Down, this way, up, this way. And we got lucky again, so we only had to do it once. We're going to do the other ones too. So this one, red, blue, down, this way, up, this way. And there we go, that corner in. And then the last one is blue and orange. So down, this way, up, this way. And this time we didn't get lucky, so you have to keep doing this until it gets in. And there we go. You can see all the colors are matched up on the layer, and the white is also matched up. Now sometimes you're going to be looking around the cube and there's no white corners on the bottom layer, but there are still unsolved white corners on the top. So basically that means that they're right, but they're not either in the right spot or in general correct. So what you're going to have to do is choose any of the ones that are just not solved up here, and you're going to do the same sequence of moves to it, but just one time. So just go down, this way, up, this way, and then you have it now, and now you can do what you did before. So green, red, and find the green, red spot, which is right here. So you're going to put it here, then keep doing the sequence of moves until it gets in, and then find the last one, put it under a slot, make sure it's on the right and front, and then just do this until it gets put in. This can also happen where it's basically the same case as last time, but it's a little bit less recognizable because it kind of looks solved from the top, but actually you'll see that this doesn't line up here because they're all different colors. See? Green and red and blue and red, so that's obviously not right. Same here, but these ones are. So basically just do the exact same thing as last time. Choose one that's unsolved, put it on the right and front, do the sequence of moves once, and then here we go, and then put it under the right slot, do that until it's in, and then do the last one. Again, there are other configurations for what can happen on this layer, but the important thing is just you have to know how to take a piece out just by doing the sequence of move once and then putting in its right spot. So yeah, there's other ways this could happen, like all 4 could be just jumbled up on the top or something like that. But yeah, as long as you know that concept, you should be good. Okay, moving on to the second layer, edges. So basically you just want to make the edges so that all of them are just like this, so they all line up, and then you'll have full 2 layers after this step. Now, fair warning, this is probably the hardest step of the whole cube. So yeah, it will take some practice. Basically, you just find one of these 4 edges on the bottom here that doesn't have yellow on either face of it. So this one has orange and yellow, so we can't do this one. This one has yellow and green, so we can't do this one. And this one has blue and red, so we can do it. So what you're going to want to do is line it up. In this case, it's already lined up, but line it up just like this so that the color matches the right center. And then you're going to see where this piece is supposed to go. It's supposed to go here because blue, red, blue, red. But this one is blue-orange, and obviously this isn't blue-orange, so we don't want to put it here. But what we're going to do is see that it goes over here, so we're going to move it away from where it's supposed to go. Then we're going to move down the slot it's supposed to go in. We're going to move that down. We're going to move it back to where it was before, and then move the slot up. And then we're going to kind of put it even more where it's supposed to go. So kind of turn it this way and rotate the cube that way. And then now you have this little bar here that you can just put in if you bring this side down and then kind of line up the white here, in and then up. So yeah, that probably seemed like really overwhelming, but you just have to get the hang of that thing. And I showed that on this side, but it can also happen on the other side. Let's just walk through that same thing again. So you have to first line it up, so it's just like this in the front, and make sure it's not a yellow piece. So it's supposed to go here, in this slot here, green and red. So we move it away from it, move the slot down, move it back, and then move this part up, and so that it creates this nice block here, and then bring it over even more, down, put the block in, up, and then it solves it. Now I'm going to show you if you get it on the other side. So basically same thing, non-yellow piece, line it up just like this, but this time it is supposed to go on this side, so that means you just move it the other way. So this way, we move it away this way, bring the correct slot down, bring it back, up, bring it even more over, rotate, and then down, put the block in, and then up. And then you should have the full second layer. Sometimes you'll have a similar case to what you have in the top layer with the corners, where you can't find one on the bottom that isn't yellow, but it still isn't solved, and that's because they're just exchanged places or something like that. So in this case, all you want to do is point to a piece that you want to take out so you can put back in, just like the corners on the first layer. But yeah, so just see a piece like this and just kind of pretend there is this piece is supposed to go here. So pretend this piece needs to go here, because by doing that, it's going to take out this piece and bring it to the bottom layer. So then what you're going to do is just bring it away from its place, down. You want to bring it back, up, and then do the rotation thing and the move, and then put the pretend block in, just like that. And now you're going to have the actual piece you want to do down here. It's also possible to have a case like this where all of the other ones are solved except for this one, where it is just flipped around. So basically you just do the exact same thing, just pretend this piece goes here, so move it away, down this way, up, and then put the pretend block in, and then the actual piece will be here, and then you can put it in for real. Again, there are other configurations, but just with that concept of taking out and then putting it in the right spot, you should be able to figure them out. Okay, so what you're going to want to do now, after you've finished both top layers, you're just going to want to flip over the cube. So what you're going to want to do is just look at the yellow edges on top. So don't look at the four corners over here, just pretend they're not there. And look at these edges. So in this case, I basically have a line here. And so I'm just going to hold it just like this, exactly like this. So not like this or anything, but just so the line is across just like this. And you're going to want to do this sequence of moves. Front clockwise, right side up, and then clockwise on top, and then counterclockwise, counterclockwise, counterclockwise. And then you should have the cross. If you have this kind of L case, you're just going to want to hold it like this, exactly like this, so not like this or anything. Hold it like this and do the exact same sequence of moves. So here, up, this way, counterclockwise, counterclockwise, and then front, counterclockwise. And then you'll get the line case, so then you do the same thing. And yeah, just it's a matter of remembering these moves, and then you'll get the cross. And then for the longest and most annoying case is the dot, where you just do it from anywhere you want and do the sequence of moves. And then the L will be here, so then you have to hold the L in the right place. So they all build off of each other, and yet then you'll get the line, and then you do it. So once you get a nice yellow cross, then the next step is to basically just finish off the yellow cross by making all these colors line up. So your end goal is going to want to be this. So basically you're just going to turn the top layer until either two line up next to each other or two line up across from each other. So right now, as I have it, one line's up here, but these other three don't. So I'm going to turn it, and then these two do. So that's good. And we're going to hold them in the back right, just like so. And they're next to each other too. And you're going to do this sequence of moves. Up, this way, down, the same way, and then up, but this time 2 flicks down. And then just line it up again so that you'll see it, and then all of them will be solved. If you have this case where basically these two across from each other are not solved, but these two are solved, do the same thing where you have to make sure that at least 2 line up. So just if it's like this, just flick it so that there's 2, and then you can hold it any place, but you're just going to do the same exact sequence of moves. So up. And the reason I did the top twice flick with this hand instead of this hand, it doesn't really matter because 2 flicks does the exact same thing either way you do it. After that, you're going to want to line it up again because you should have the other case I showed you earlier. So just do it until you do have 2 next to each other, and then put it in the back right. And then as you can see, these 2 need to be flipped. So then these back over here and up this way, down this way, up, you 2, down. And then once you line it up, all of them should be solved. So now ignore the edges. So you're done with the edges, so don't look at the edges anymore. But look now at the corners. So as you can see, there's a few different things you can have. So in this case, I actually have the corner is actually solved right now, because even though it might not look like it, as you can see, this section here is supposed to be yellow, of course, because this is all yellow, green, and orange. And this also corner piece is also yellow, green, and orange. So this is right. Now these ones aren't, because look, the colors don't match up here, don't match up here, don't match up here. So you're going to want to find, if you can, one that is correct and hold it right in the front right. So a lot of rights here, but basically hold in the front right. And you're going to just do a flick on the top clockwise, and then you're going to bring the right side up, and then other way, left side up, other way, right side down, other way, left side down. And then hopefully all of them will have the same colors. So you'll see this has the same colors still, but now this one does. It's also solved, but it doesn't really matter. This one has the same colors around. This one has the same ones around because blue, orange here. And then this one is just completely solved, so it's right. Now, if this didn't solve it, then just keep this thing here. Don't rotate the cube or anything. Keep the right one here, and then do that exact sequence of moves again. So, this way up, and then that whole sequence. You can also get it so that literally none of the corners are right. So, for example, this one isn't right because orange, blue, orange, green. This one isn't right as well. This one isn't. This one isn't. So then in this case, all you have to do is put it in any position that you want, and then just do a flick again, and then do the same sequence of moves. And then there will be one that does match up. So in this case, it's this one. And then oh, this one's still solved, but these ones didn't solve, so you're just going to do it again. And now all of them are solved, like this. They're all in the right place. Okay, so the final step is just orienting the corners so that the yellow's on top, therefore they will all be solved after. So the cube could be solved now, but most likely it isn't, and you just want to pick any corner that doesn't already have yellow on top. So I wouldn't pick this one because it already has it on top, but yeah, like this one could work, and hold it in the front right. and just do the same sequence of moves as the first layer corners where you're going down. Just do the exact same sequence. So go down this way, up this way, and you'll see that it kind of messes up the other layers, but don't worry. If you follow this exactly, then nothing will happen in the end. So basically, down this way, and just keep doing it until yellow appears on this corner right here. And now yellow's here, so that's good. So now we're just gonna flick it to the side here, and now we're gonna do the same thing to this one until yellow appears there. And there, yellow's there. So now we just have to go to the last one. So I'm gonna flick this around so it's in that same spot. And we're just gonna keep going until yellow appears there, just like the other times. And then the cube should be solved. So yeah, it's really important in that last step to not rotate the cube, because if you do, then the whole thing will get messed up and your first two layers will just be gone. So yeah, I hope you learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube from this tutorial. And if you do have questions and my comments are enabled, which they're most likely not because YouTube does that to me, but if they are, then make sure to put your questions in the comment section down below and I'll definitely respond to them. But other than that, thanks so much for watching and I will see you guys next time. Bye!